Alright, howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking an early in-depth look at an upcoming 120 player Vietnam era FPS called Burning Lands. What's very interesting about this game is the fact that the development studio 0 Hour Interactive is full of devs who previously worked on some big titles. To name just a few, Escape from Tarkov, PUBG, as well as the RHS mod for Arma 3. Led by a former developer of Squad, 0 Hour Interactive initially made the Australian Defence Force as a mod for Squad, though they then sold their work to the Squad developers who had implemented the ADF as a free content update. First, let's take a look at the basics behind the game and why I think this is somewhat similar to Hell Let Loose or Post Scriptum, but with a Vietnam flavor, and then we'll dive a little deeper talking about some of the mechanics that I feel set this game apart from those previous games. So as mentioned earlier, the game will feature up to 120 players with 60 players per team. Each team is divided into squads, which much like Hell Let Loose or Post Scriptum then further specialize into armor, infantry, or logistics. A team's commander will have to decide what resources to make available to its squads, like off-map support, vehicles, or other equipment. There are of course also roles available within each squad, which we'll dive deeper into a little bit later on, but roles like medic, anti-tank, and machine gunner are just some of the more obvious ones that will be available. Besides ground vehicles such as the M113 or BTR-152 APCs, or the M48 Patton tank, the game will feature PBR and sampan boats, as well as Huey, Chinook, and Cobra helicopters. Though not mentioned on the Steam store, their official Discord states that their maps will be anywhere from 4 square kilometers up to 16 square kilometers. A few locations you can expect to see in-game are specifically mentioned, such as Hue City, Khe Sanh, Ia Drang, and more. Initially, the US Army will represent Blue 4, with the PAVN representing Op 4. The developers do say they want to add additional factions like the US Marines, Australian Forces, as well as the NLF down the line. It's possible these factions will come with their own specific maps and terrains. 2 development updates were posted on Steam with some additional information, especially Burning Lands' role system seems very interesting, as we're talking about in more detail. So the commander is at the head of the team, with a crewman, pilot, or infantry squad lead being pretty self-explanatory. I'm assuming that the engineer squad leader is the leader of a logistics squad, though I'm not sure on that. And then there are sustainment roles and specialist roles. Most of these specialist roles are again ones we've seen in other games like Grenadier, Machine Gunner, Breacher, Sapper, etc. However, the Pack Mule and Radioman roles could definitely use some explaining, as they are part of what will set Burning Lands apart from similar games in genre. The Pack Mule role is available to the Op 4 team. They basically carry placeable backpacks which can be used for resupplying teammates directly. This means that a squad that is cut off from friendly supply sources still has some sustain as long as the Pack Mule stays alive. Furthermore, the Pack Mule can steal supplies from Blue 4 supply crates and depots. Not only does this directly benefit your team, it actively hampers the enemy team at the same time. I'm really liking this idea of asymmetric gameplay, really resembling the Vietnam conflict. This actually is taking a step further by allowing Op 4 to also capture Blue 4 vehicles. How this will be balanced or accounted for is not mentioned yet, but I definitely like the sound of that. The Radioman role might sound very basic, but the devs have made the Radioman one of the more important roles to have in your squad. Besides calling in and requesting fire missions for the squad leader to approve, the Radioman plays a huge part in keeping situational awareness, which leads me to the unique map visibility and fog of war mechanics in Burning Lands. Luckily, they have a couple of GIFs here for us to take a look at. Every player has a personal fog of war bubble or zone around them. Friendly units will not be visible to you on the map if your squad leader and Radioman aren't within a certain range of each other. However, your squad leader, commander, friendly vehicles, and certain buildables will always show up. As a squad leader without a Radioman nearby, you get a little bit more information compared to the regular grunts, as you get to know where your other squad leaders are, but it definitely sounds like you should stick with your Radioman, or your Radioman should stick with you at all times. So that's about the extent of stuff we know about Burning Lands so far. I'm looking forward to checking out more news as it comes out, and of course, I can't wait to get my hands on gameplay when the ability to do so arises. For now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.